What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? We out here. You already know what it is. It's about to go down. You know what the title is about. Throw some likes in that piece. Throw some likes in that piece. How y'all feeling out there today? Hope everything is kicking for you. It's gonna be one of them shows, man. Yeah. And just so we know, this does go. This particular topic, it does go for marriages and or relationships. So we're gonna get into it today about this joint. I would love to see what some of you guys' opinions are, men and women alike. We're going to break it down in a minute. So, yeah. First things first. We got the Charger in the winner's circle from last week. He beat out our Civic Type R, and I think he beat somebody else too. I don't even keep track anymore. Y'all probably keep better track of the cars than I do. I just buy them. Y'all get rid of them. We also got the new Charger. So we brought the Charger for the Charger. Old school muscle versus new school muscle. You know, this is like the Fast and the Furious joint they had out there. And this is like what you see in Philly wreaking havoc in the streets every day or all over the internet. It's not even just Philly. That's where I see it. But it's all over the place. They go crazy with these whips. But yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy today. Anybody in the building, please do throw a like up, man. Share this joint. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Jump in. This is gonna be one of those, and it's gonna be very interactive. Because I'm very, very excited to see how people feel about this, because I know that this particular subject is probably hitting home for some people. I know there's some people out here like, yeah, get him smooth. And listen, I'm all for it, right? I definitely want to get into it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's not all the women's fault. And I know what you're saying. A lot of men think that this is just women's fault. But we're going to get down to the nitty gritty and show how sometimes this could be a man's issue. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all agree or disagree. Anybody jumping in, though, definitely throw a vote down for the new Charger or the old Charger. If you don't know what, just hit red or blue or new or old, whatever. New school, old school. Drop it down. Let's see what's going on with it. I want to see what's happening with that joint. But we're going to get into it. I'm going to do a nice early run of the video. This lady over here, whose name I could never freaking remember. And I saw this on, it's Dana Chanel, right? Her husband actually has a channel with from primarily men. And he prides himself on giving out free game. You know what I'm saying? What's up? Shout to Midnight Haven Terrell up in this piece. We see you jumping in. And yeah, I want to see what people think about this joint right here. So I'm going to throw the video up real quick, just so I can see where we're coming from. And, you know, right after this intro, let's get it. Yeah, here we go. We're going right into this video. This is, again, Dana Chanel. Her husband is, I don't know, but it's not really relevant. I don't want us to get too much into the characters today. You know what I'm saying? I just want people to get the message. What she's saying is most important, because actually I didn't know who she was at all. My wife I showed her the video, not for the reasons that you might think, but, you know, before I go over a lot of topics, I'd like, hey, what you think about this joint? Have you seen this video? Is it trending enough? Because, you know, that's who I consult with. It wasn't because I am having a sexist marriage. Just get that straight, just in case that's what you were thinking. All right, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all. So that's where we at. What did you say? Charger Broski and Janice in Georgia all day. They're both Chargers though. So you got to call red or blue or new or old. They're both Chargers. This is the old school Charger. This is the new school Charger. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got to call old school and new school. They're both Chargers. But I guess you're voting for the new one. All right, cool. And that's cool. Let's get into this video though real quick. Let's jump in. Dana Chanel, what you got?
Never use sex as a weapon against your husband. And have sex often is probably some of the most extraordinary advice I never got. As a working mom, we get tired, exhausted, overwhelmed. But it is dangerous to neglect our husband's needs. And I'll explain to you why. Sex is such a huge part of a man's identity. It's the way he emotionally bonds with us. And it's crazy because God wired his body this way. When a man experiences an orgasm, his body releases the bonding hormone, oxytocin, in such extraordinary amounts. Women experience it as well, but men do 400% times more. And so that skin-to-skin contact mixed with an orgasm creates deep connection. And I never just want to be a great mom. I never just want to be killing it in the workplace. But I desired for my husband to find me to be a good lover. Look forward to coming home to me. And through difficult conversations, because I was never taught this kind of stuff, I had to learn how to not look at sex as a chore or another responsibility on my to-do list, but enjoy my husband feeling respected and honored and wanted. Imagine if one day our husband came home and said, I don't feel like having sex with you. We would be massively offended and hurt. And so men need sex. It's how they came from the factory.
Uh-oh. So we got we got 2 votes for the old school, 1 vote for the new school so far. So what I do want to know, first off, could you hear the lady okay? Did y'all get the message from what she's talking about? Did y'all see it? The first thing that she opened with was, do not weaponize sex against your husband. She's sexy, the lady? And the lady? Ooh, you talking about Dana Chanel sexy? Joe Green Films? And all right, so we got Midnight Haven Tarot has got to vote for the old school. GC's vote for the new school, and Joe Green Films votes for the old school. All right, so that's what's up. But now I would love to see those big brown eyes looking up at me, slobbing that knob. Are we talking about Dana Chanel here? What's up? What we doing? All right. So what are we thinking about this, though, people? What do we think? Because that's a pretty loaded message there. So do women. So do women what? What are we talking about? What are we talking about, people? Let me know what you're thinking. So, all right, I'm going to break it down. She's basically telling, I would imagine women, right? Well, yeah, she's obviously talking to women because she's saying your husband. Don't weaponize sex against your husband. Has anybody have any idea of what it means to weaponize sex against your husband? What does that mean to weaponize sex against your husband? That's the kicker right now. I hit it. Okay. So, what do we got? Y'all guys are getting very distracted in that little comment section over there. Very distracted over there, guys. I want to know what y'all thinking about what's going on in here real quick. So what we got is Dana Chanel says, do not weaponize sex against men. So that's pretty loaded. What does that mean? Because there's a whole thing to break down. So here's one of the main things that I would like to say about sex in marriage or even a long-term serious relationship, because I don't want to just limit this to marriage. Of course, it's more significant if it is marriage, because you have very limited options or very messy options when it comes time to leave. That's different. I'll take the new school. Uh-oh. So we got 2 votes for the new school. We all tied up. What's happening with your demi music? I'll take the new school. And the Bible days, your body's for your spouse's pleasure. Ooh, ho, 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 ho. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. That's a big one. She kicking that game, aka the marriage bed being undefiled. Woo. Oh man, she kicking bars right there. She's throwing some Bible verses at you, man. Woo. I don't know. This is coming from a woman's point of view. So now, all right, big girls give the best head. Okay. I need that, LOL. What do you need, Demi Music? So that's where we at with it. So that's a good point that we just made over there, that Demi Music just made. She says, hey, in the Bible days, your body was for your spouse's pleasure. Now today, it's a different story. Your body is no longer your spouse's body, but it is your own body. Back in the day, right, including in the United States, right, it was no law against taking your spouse's goodies. It would not be considered the assault that it would be now. Now you can actually assault your spouse in that manner if it is unwanted. But back in the day, it was impossible because, like Demi Music said just now, your body was for your spouse's pleasure. What are we talking about? Does that sound archaic? Does it sound barbaric? Or does it sound like something that we should practice today? That's what I want to know. All right. So, Midnight Haven Tarot says, at Demi Music, I don't understand why people weaponize it. Intimacy is beautiful. All right, now let's get into that then. I'm going to tell you, because here we go. I love that the women are saying such awesome things that we love to hear, and Demi Music agrees, exactly. Now, but I want you to just think about it for a second now. I want you guys to think about it for a second. I want you to just tell me, like, hey, is there a scenario where you are actually practicing what you're preaching? Now, you might be. I believe that there's a good chance you might be. But can you tell me that this is something that you would always do? Or have you ever ran into a circumstance where you yourself were not so pleased with your partner? At some point in time, you were not pleased with your partner, and something happened to where you're like, you know what? I am not really feeling this cat. I don't know. He's not doing his thing, or he's boring. We don't go out enough. It's got to be something at some point where you're like, you know what? I'm just not feeling this dude. Have you ever ran into a situation where you were in a relationship? Maybe not a marriage. It could very well be a marriage. It might be a marriage. or maybe not a marriage, but you were just with someone that you weren't really feeling like that. Because from what I understand, women, when they meet you, they have to have an emotional connection to you, or there is no sex. And it's not static. They could have an emotional connection to you or with you right now, and then another moment they don't. And it's not so mechanical like it is for men. They will not have sex with you. A man could be pretty angry with you, and he's still, hey, I'm down for the loving. But for women, that's not always the case. That is usually not the case. So I want to know what we think about that, because that's the thing. Women are not always going to want that. And for men, if you understand the dopamine release, men actually are able to release dopamine after sexual intercourse. So with that, that's like the creator playing a nice little joke on us. Because if you think about it, women form an emotional bond and then they would like the loving. Now men need the loving to form an emotional bond. That's crazy. That reminds you like the commercial, can't get the job, but can't get the money without the job. I don't know if y'all ever saw that commercial, but it's one of those revolving situations where you need one in order to get the other. But so you see how it kind of does not coincide, which is where we kind of have a disconnect. And that's the problem. That's the problem. The problem is the disconnect. Why is it not working? And this is what we're talking about. Hold on, we got a lot of comments jumping in over here. I'm having, all right, hold on. Let me catch up. In having one partner, you depend on for sexual needs because of everything that comes with being sexually intimate with someone, right? High frequency noise. Am I the only one hearing it? All right, well, let me try a couple things here. Do you guys still hear it? Are you guys still hearing it? Are you still hearing the noise? Anybody? I'm going to keep reading these, but let me know if y'all still hear it right now. All right. Is it a bit archaic? Change the marketing on the message with some clever rewording. Midnight Heaven Tarot says, yes, I agree. She agrees with their music. I don't understand how you don't want to please the person you love. Well, yeah, I hear you. GC says, high frequency noise move. Please modify whenever you fix. Okay, does it? People still hearing that noise? All right, I'm going to try something else. How about now? Still hear it?
What you need help with?
Nah, so they hearing like a hiss. Let's see what I hear.
Why do you need an AC?
Oh, shoot! Let me turn it off then.
Alright, shut out. You hear me?
Yeah. It could be it. Let's turn it off. It stopped. Oh shoot! When did it stop? I just turned the AC on. Okay, so that means it must be that phone then. All right, it must be that phone. I'll only use that when we Okay, can you still hear it? Did the noise come back or no? It's fine. Read the bottom comments. I'm trying. They don't come up as fast on my feed over here. Sorry about that, people. I think YouTube penalized me tonight because even though I tried to cleverly get rid of the word that I used, but I also did say, we said sex, So we got to take the L on this back. Oh, that means it's this. All right, it's got to be that. Got to be that then. Do you hear the noise again? You're reading old messages. It's gone? If it comes back, I know exactly what it is. And we'll have to do something about that crazy. All right, so either way, I'm going to open up the call lines. We may as well. I'm going to go ahead and open the call lines up just to see if anybody wants to get with it. Anybody want to chime in on this nonsense? Call in. It's 609-666-2995. 609-666-2995. It's worse now. Okay, so it's this by right here. All right, so that'll be that. That will be that. All right. Yeah, so we don't have to use that. I'll just listen to it from here. Okay. Anybody in here, throw that like button down if you haven't already. Please do. Throw the like down. We're going to need extra support tonight. YouTube does not like this one. I kind of knew it was going to do that. I think I got adulted tonight, so we're going to be very limited. I may have to cut this one short, but I feel like it was something important to cover either way. So no matter what, we're going to cover these sometimes, regardless of viewership or not. It's going to have to happen. It's a necessary evil. We have to address all topics, so we're going to go ahead and do it either way. Necessary evil. We have to do it sometimes. Yes, sir. So it's going. Yes, going. Okay, so we know exactly what it is. We know exactly what it is now. No, we're good. 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 All right, so what I want to know, I'm gonna run this video one more time for y'all, and then I'm gonna kind of break this down even more because there's a lot. This thing is very loaded.
Never use sex as a weapon against your husband. And have sex often is probably some of the most extraordinary advice I never got. As a working mom, we get tired, exhausted, overwhelmed. But it is dangerous to neglect our husband's needs. And I'll explain to you why. Sex is such a huge part of a man's identity. It's the way he emotionally bonds with us. And it's crazy because God wired his body this way. When a man experiences an orgasm, his body releases the bonding hormone, oxytocin, in such extraordinary amounts. Women experience it as well, but men do 400% times more. And so that skin-to-skin contact mixed with an orgasm creates deep connection. And I never just want to be a great mom. I never just want to be killing it in the workplace. But I desired for my husband to find me to be a good lover. Look forward to coming home to me. And through difficult conversations, because I was never taught this kind of stuff, I had to learn how to not look at sex as a chore or another responsibility on my to-do list, but enjoy my husband feeling respected and honored and wanted. Imagine if one day our husband came home and said, "I don't feel like having sex with you." We would be massively offended and hurt. And so men need sex. It's how they came from the factory.
Yeah, so definitely, people, let me know what it is you think about that. I want to know what y'all think about that because there's a lot to that. Now, as far as the females, I know the females in the room were like, hey, how the hell could you even and I understand that. But no matter how you spin it, there are some females who decide that they are not so interested in their men, right? She mentioned some things about motherhood. It's very tiring. It's tiresome just be a mother all day. And what happens is after motherhood, a lot of times, women are not interested in sex anymore. Motherhood is demanding. Fatherhood is demanding, but the mother usually is stuck with the kids more. These are just the facts. These are the facts. Women are stuck with the children more. This is the facts. So now she might be breastfeeding. That's one thing. She might be just having to monitor the kids, watch them. You have to groom them. You know, it's so much, particularly when they're babies. You don't have a lot of time to yourselves. You have time with children now. So it changes things. It changes the entire dynamic of you and your husband, what you normally have to do. It definitely changes it no matter how you spin it. So with that intense demand, right? And worse yet, modern day society actually requires women to work. So let's say a woman is working now. Yeah, diaper changes. You're right, GC. Their music, she says, definitely important for the men to feel like the men at home. Yeah. And the bedroom is a part of it for sure. You women making it sound so easy. I love that kind of talk. I'm gonna say, I hope this is how y'all rocking, man. I hope y'all ain't just pandering out here. I hope this is how y'all rocking, because if females behave like that, this is actually going to be, a service to the world. This is great. Hopefully, spread the word to other women and let them know that this is a great thing. But what I want women to understand is that me as a man and many other men do understand the demands of motherhood, and that's usually when sex changes. So it takes about 2 years in general before the chemicals in your brain decide, hey, you know what? This is no longer interesting. This is no longer new. That's the honeymoon phase. And that's generally the amount of time. That's the average amount of time that it takes for people to get married. So think about that. Right about the time you decide to get married, your spouse is pretty bored with you. So that could be another reason for sex. I don't think it's as responsible as motherhood is, because a woman goes through many changes, many changes. If you're a woman, you're going to go through a lot of changes. Your body is not going to like what's happening here. You're going to get more tired. You're going to be drained from just what's happening to your body and you actually having extra responsibilities. So now if you work and then you come home, you have to take energy to possibly cook. Hopefully not. If you're doing the work and then you still have to do that, that's tough. It's very demanding. So after all of that, you still want to throw sex into the equation. I mean, cool, but man, it's a lot to deal with. So what I would suggest for men to do so you can get your goodies. We all know we want your goodies, right? You want them goodies. You want them goodies. We know that. So if this is what you want them goodies. What you gotta do is make it easier on her. In other words, help me help you. So if your female is having trouble with certain things, just help her out as much as you can. Try to make the day a little easier, or make it so she doesn't have to work. For real. That's the idea. If you can make it so your lady doesn't have to work, that's a beautiful thing. And I say that because think about it. She has that much more time to prepare for you, that much more time, that much more energy. So she's refreshed. You know what I'm saying? Kids and stuff, that's automatically demanding enough. But when you add work on top of it, forget about it. You're going to get whatever you get. So that's one of the main things. So, and we're going to touch on that emotional thing again. What can you do about a female's emotions, right? So any female in the chat right now, let me know what are some of the top things that females require or desire. What are some of those things that females actually want? What do females want out of a relationship? What is it that's going to give you that emotional stimulation that's required for sex? And we're not going to fraud out here and say that they are not stimulated by physical, but we know that women are more emotional creatures, not always necessarily in a bad way. It's just the way they're wired. It's just different. It doesn't have to be good or bad. You just have to understand it. So let's see. Thanks for acknowledging the work women put into. A thoughtful, helpful man is a sexy man. See, all right. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Homeboy might be onto something, man. We might be onto something, man. And that's true. So we definitely agree. Let me know you're thinking of me when we're apart. Hey, well, check it out. This is what I'm going to say. I'm thinking of women. I'm definitely thinking of women because, you know, what I try to do is inform people. We understand that there's a gender war going on. We understand that there is a serious gender disconnect. And just so you know, this Saturday, I'm actually going on someone else's channel. It's called it's Priscilla Clark. I'm going to send a link to everybody. I'll make it available. And she has a good channel. And, we discuss topics. I'm going to discuss a particular topic on her particular channel. She does it every week. And I'm going to be the special guest next week. And she's actually a big deal. She's doing numbers and she's doing really well. Her channel is going rapidly. And I think we'll have a very good discussion on the gender disconnect. Back to our scheduled programming. So, yeah, we definitely have a gender disconnect, right? Men don't understand females, and it's getting worse. If you're paying attention to the TikTok era right now, this is the TikTok era. If you're watching these guys, they have mottos like stay toxic. That's the motto. You believe that? They end their monologue with stay toxic. Is that what we doing? So, yeah, the gender disconnect. So, women don't understand men, and men don't understand women. So, what I want women to understand about men, right? And women, feel free if you have any suggestions on how to get these men to get these goodies, man. We want the men to get the goodies. Let's not get it twisted. And females, I'm sure you want your goodies too. So if you got the keys. What? That's garbage. LOL's MH. What's garbage? What's garbage? What's garbage? You know what's garbage? That'd be music. But yeah, we both want to get our rocks off one way or the other. A lot of times females might be too tired, and we understand why. There are some men who are too tired sometimes, which I don't even want to hear it, brothers. Nah, if you're too tired, you need to get in the gym, man. You need to get right. You need to get right. You need to get on your game. You need to be working on yourself. You need to get your exercising up. You need to get you a nice little regimen. You need to get your diet right. You need to get things that will help you with your blood circulation. I'm not talking about no pills. You better get right because you got to be on your job. Oh, yeah, stay toxic. Yeah, that's absolutely garbage. Okay. I got time, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Now, what women have to understand about men. I got the keys for you. I got the keys for you today. I'm just going to tell you.
Another one.
I got the keys.
Another one.
I got the secret. I'm going to tell you something about men.
Another one.
That you wish you knew.
Another one.
But you had no idea.
Another one.
With men, as I touched on earlier, for men to be able to have a connection with the female, a bond, right? When they release that dopamine, it requires sex. Men actually bond after sex. So that closest, this is how men express their love. And women may feel like it's primitive, but that wouldn't be fair. We have to try to understand each other and understand that we are wired different. It's not good or bad, it's just different. And as you try to grow to understand it, you'll be able to cater to it a lot better. So now men will actually feel neglected. Men will feel, they will doubt themselves. They can develop anxiety. And this is how they show their love. This is how they bond. Right? Now, that's not to say that there aren't some people who completely misuse sex. Men and women completely misuse sex. We understand that. We do. And we know that there are some people who are just completely disconnected and they can have casual sex and it mean nothing. No type of a bond, no type of connection, nothing. And that's okay. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. That's just not the type of person you may want to involve yourself with if that's not the type of behavior you'd like to engage in. If that makes any sense. Because it's all about matchups here. You have to find out what it is that your partner wants. What kind of a partner do you have? And to me, if I were going to get married, right? If I were going to get married to somebody, of course, I would want to know what their sexual behaviors are like. How could you get into a marriage with someone without knowing what their sexual behaviors are like? Right? What's your frequency? Do you like it once a week, once a month, once a day, twice a day? What do you like? We understand that things are subject to change slightly, but you got to understand that there are some people who have put the brakes on completely. There are some couples who don't engage for years, months, years, weeks. And, you know, that's not really healthy. That's not healthy. Sex is an important part of an intimate relationship. And without it, you can form resentment toward each other. And it's just not part of the balance. This is just one of the biological needs, right? Period. Mentally, socially, physically. And a lot of women may misinterpret what's happening. It's not really that. There are men who actually have an emotional connection to it. And I'll just give you a perfect example. If you ever heard the term kitty whipped, then you understand that men can easily form a bond after sex. This is just real. This is real. So we can't, that would immediately abolish the notion that men can't possibly have a mental or emotional connection with sex. That's just how it is. Men and women do. And it's up to us to understand that. It's up to us to trigger that and see what it is that we can do to and for our partner that would make them more likely to give us the goodies. Because that's what we both want. Ain't it? That's what we want. Now, is there anybody here who disagrees or wants me to go somewhere else with this? Because there's some other places we could go with this. But what are you thinking? What are you thinking? If you want me to go somewhere else with this, we certainly can. But we don't have to. What do you think? Do you feel like I'm off right here? Do you think that women are just being selfish? Do you think that men are just being lazy? What do you think? What do you think some of the problems are? Why is it that there's such a disconnect? Why is it? Why is it that men and women are separating at such a rapid rate? It's more than half. Over 50% of marriages are failing now. Most of it is due to finances, and a lot of it is due to the lack of sex. And it's not that one person or the other doesn't want sex. They just may not want it with the particular person that they are with. Maybe because they've developed resentment or just awkward. And the thing about it now is if you take a long time out, the longer your time out is, the harder it is to get back into it. That's a major issue. When you take a time out and then you try to time in, it's difficult. It becomes awkward. If a man feels awkward, that Incredible Hulk will turn right back into David Banner, man. He ain't doing nothing. He just standing there doing nothing. There's nothing he can do because he's awkward. He's not comfortable. If a man's not comfortable and his head ain't in the game, his head ain't in the game. It is what it is. That's just how it's going to go. And a woman, of course, has to have the emotional connection. Now, I don't want anybody to get it twisted over here. There are absolutely instances where women just want to get their rocks off and they just want that thumping real quick. We know that. We know that there are some women out here that are looking for it just to get their rocks off. And we can't say that that is good or bad. That's just what they want to do. And if that's where you're at with it, go for it. If that's what you want to do, go for it. We're not mad at you. Now, if you're in a relationship, do we feel like people should be or are obligated to sex? Do we feel like men are obligated to sex? Are women obligated to sex? That's what we want to know. Some bros looking for that thumping indeed. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
She belongs to the streets.
They are definitely looking for that thumping. There are definitely some females that are just looking for the thumping. And that's not a bad thing. It is what it is. Maybe they're not married. Maybe they're not in a relationship. Maybe they realize they're not ready for a relationship at this time. It just might not be their thing. And that's cool. They don't have to be. They don't have to be. And that's okay. If you don't want, if that's not what you're here for, you know, a relationship is demanding. It's a lot of work. And sometimes it's better for you not to be in a relationship than to be in a toxic relationship. And that's just being honest. That is what it is.
Today I got time, cuz.
Period. Nothing you can do about that. But that's where we are with it. For sure, for sure. Here's what we got. Let me see. I think men, this is demi music. I think men and women are more alike than we realize. At the core of everyone wants intimacy. This is true. And to be seen and understood. That is true. Don't get married if you don't want to have sex, though. LOL. It comes with. It should. It should. You get an extra comment. It really should be. Absolutely should be. It really, really should be. It should come with it, but that's not necessarily true. It should come with it, but that's not necessarily true. So I'm going to tell you what, guys. The way that we're going tonight, it appears that YouTube might have did something a little different. I'm pretty sure it's because what we're talking about tonight. And I guess you got to kind of adult rated, otherwise you get like killed. So they pretty much, I guess, shadow banned this one for the most part. So what I'll do is I'm going to cut this joint off. We'll cut it short tonight because it is what it is. We'll be able to do what it does later. But I appreciate everybody for jumping out. We do have some votes here for the cars, and one of you must go. One of you must go. It looks like the new Charger wins by one bet. The new Charger wins. So I'm going to get rid of the old one real quick. Wait, let me get that number out of the way because you guys can't see it. We gotta get this guy to quit. Okay, we're sending you off.
Goodbye.
Ooh, that's a first. But yeah, that's where we're at with it. I'm gonna send that guy off. I will put the number up one more time if anybody does want to call. That's fine. You may. If you have something you want to add, talk it up for a second. That's cool. Otherwise, we are going to haul ass up out of here. But just let me know what it does. But yeah, this is one of those things, man, where men and women absolutely have to take accountability for it. It's not an easy thing to do. For men, for women, it's tough. Very tough. I agree. Until sex do us part. I hear you. I hear you. Did the car hit the camera? Sure it did. That's a first. He ran right. Well, not the camera itself. He hit the tripod, and that tripod ain't going nowhere. So, no cameras were harmed during this film. We'll put it that way. No cameras were harmed during this film. Believe me, guys. You cover it all. What? What did I cover? Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that's where we're at with it. That's got to go. And we're going to go ahead and take it down. I appreciate everybody for jumping in, chiming in, and everything else. And until next